Hello, everyone, and welcome to our YouTube channel. This project, The Game Changer, that we just started a few months ago, and today is our first video in English, and we are going to talk about Mjällby, the Swedish champions, a unique style of play. I think the way they won the Swedish championship, it was incredible. They play a special football, a unique football that I think we are going to see more teams playing like that in the top leagues. And yeah, first of all, I wanted to say thank you to their coaches, Anders and Carl. They have helped us to do this analysis, always opening the doors for us to learn from them, because I actually learn a lot watching Mjällby. As I usually say, I watch too much maybe Premier League, La Liga, but in this kind of leagues you can discover new trends, new ideas, and I think Mjällby, what they have done is special, and we can learn a lot from them. And I'm quite sure that we will see many of their ideas in the future in the top leagues. So yeah, before starting with the lineup, I wanted also to say thank you to Tommy, our analyst, who has helped me to do this analysis about Mjällby. And yeah, before going to talk about the lineups, we are going to talk about few stats that I think they are interesting to understand what Mjällby has done. They have won the league already 3-4 games before the season ends. They are many points ahead of the second position team, which I think is Hammarby, if I'm not wrong. And what they have done in terms offensively is special, but also defensively. Defensively, they have only conceded 18 goals. They are the lowest in the league by a huge difference. Something interesting is that they are one of the lowest teams in terms of crosses into the box and 1v1 situations, which means, we will speak about this later, but it means they rely a lot in short combinations, trying to progress from central areas, but also they do crosses, but kind of low crosses, and maybe Scout, the source of our stats, doesn't consider that as a cross, because many times they use like cutbacks and this kind of balls from the half spaces, which maybe Wisecat doesn't consider it as crosses, but yeah, it's interesting. I think they are not the team that when they arrive to the last third, they try to just put a cross to the second post, for example. They are a team that try to combine shortly and try to control the game by short distances. And yeah, in ball possession, they are the fourth team in the league, 54%. I think in many games they were winning, and then of course it's normal that you lose a bit of the ball, but it's also interesting to see that in the PPDA, in terms of defense, they are one of the best. They have a PPDA of 9, which means that they are a comfortable team in defense, being able to press high very, very often, being a team that can control the ball in possession, but they are also good defensively. So yeah, let's start talking about the lineup. Yeah, of course, I will be honest with you. There are many players I don't really know. I haven't followed them, of course, but I think there are a few young players in the team which are very interesting. One of them is Iqbal, the right center back from Pakistan. He's only 23 years old. He's a player who can play with both legs. He can pass and move forward, and he also can play in tight spaces. He's a very interesting player. Same with Torel, a midfielder, amazing midfielder for me, one of the best. He can play higher up. He can move to wide areas. Very dynamic. Also hardworking in defense. I like him. He can organize the play and also be higher up and give this last pass. Also Stroud, the left wing back, also very young. I think 21 years old, if I'm not wrong. Such an interesting player. He can run up and down during all the game, and yeah, he can be a threat to the space. Mane, also very young, a very dynamic player. He's more of a frontline player who attacks usually the space and moves in these zones between the lines and attacking the space. So overall, they are a team that they have young players that they are interesting. Of course, they have other ones that they are older, that they are very important too, like Gustafsson, the striker Bergstrom, which we will speak about him later, about his commitment in the press. As we can see, the structure here, their starting position is this 3-2-4-1 that we will see is just a starting structure, but then they obviously they are very dynamic and they use different structures. But also in defense, we will see how they press in this kind of 3-4-3, 5-2-3, as you wanna call it. But yeah, it's important to understand that their starting position is this 3-2-4-1.
El fútbol está cambiando y nosotros queremos que formes parte de este cambio. En The Game Changer estamos construyendo la comunidad de reflexión más completa sobre el juego. Análisis, entrevistas, mentorías y acceso directo a profesionales. Si eres entrenador, analista, jugador o un apasionado, sin dudas este es tu lugar. Únete ahora a thegamechanger.es y usa el código TGCLAB10 para tu descuento exclusivo. No te quedes fuera y únete a The Game Changer.
Let's start talking about deep build-up situations. As you can see in this image, they use the center backs very narrow next to the goalkeeper, doing a 4-back line. In this case, being able to push the wing backs higher up. And as we said before, they use this 3-2-4-1 structure. So the only thing they do is to add the goalkeeper as a side center back. In this case, we can see the right center back becomes more of a right fullback. The center back becomes more of a left center back, and then the side left center back becomes more of a left fullback. No, in this narrow position, in this back four, that they are usually inside the box. But I have seen also some games that, depending on how the opposition press, they can also be the wide center backs can be more wide. As we can see, the two midfielders dropping deep. And they use this kind of structure, this 4-2-4-1. We can see this is something we will speak about later, but yeah, they use a diagonal ball to progress towards the striker, who plays back to one of the midfielders, and they are able to find the weak side pocket, and they can progress. Let's see now how is their rest defense, this 3+2 that we spoke before, the three center backs plus the two midfielders. And yeah, they started from very deep build-up using the goalkeeper as a side center back, and they are able to progress. Another example, in this case, it's interesting because they use the advanced midfielder very low, as we can see here, in the midfielder's position. But then that means that one of the midfielder is able to move into wide areas, creating problems to Malmo that they don't know how to defend this. Let's see the three center backs, same position as we spoke before. In this case, the goalkeeper acts as a left center back. We can see the two wing backs also in kind of different positions. And then we can see also the advanced midfielder, one advanced midfielder dropping deep and the other advanced midfielder between the lines. Here we can see how they find the midfielder. They are able to find the advanced midfielder between the lines, and then they find the wing back outside, and they are able to score a goal. Of course, here the goalkeeper helps a bit, but yeah, anyway, that's a great progression from deep build-up. Let's talk now about diagonality. Let's check here another example, how they use the advanced midfielder again deep, the other advanced midfielder between the lines, how they use the two wing backs in different heights. And let's see also the back four. As we can see again, narrow back four inside the box, and the goalkeeper acting as a right center back, as a side center back. In this case, they use three players in deep zones, the two midfielders plus the advanced midfielder. But the important here, what I want to highlight is the diagonal balls. See how they they are in a diagonal position between the center back, the midfielder, and the advanced midfielder, and they are able to play this ball between the lines to then find the weak side and progress. Again, another great build-up from Mjällby. Another example, this one in Mjällby's stadium. As we can see here, the center backs are wider in this case. Against Malmo, they did it a bit different. Usually, they do a more narrow back four, but in this case, they did it differently. But as we can see here, again, the two midfielders very, very deep, and the center back can find the advanced midfielder between the lines. This is more of a classical 4-2-2-2 that many teams are using, especially in Premier League nowadays. But we can see how they find through a diagonal ball. This is minute 1 in Malmo's stadium, what talks very good about Mjällby and about how brave they are to progress like this. And yeah, we can see after this how they are able to play forward. Let's go now and talk about another aspect that is very, very interesting, that is unique, that they do, is this tilting, what they say, the wide overloads, where they try to, by positioning many players close to the ball, they try to create a numerical superiority. We can see here how they are 5 against 3 players from Malmo, with both midfielders in the same side, plus the advanced midfielder, plus the wingback, plus the side center back, the right center back in this case. Yes, we can see here 2 midfielders, right center back, advanced midfielder, and the wingback. And how they are able to find the advanced midfielder between the lines. After that, they are not able to cross, but yeah, another example. As we can see, a 5 against 4 in the side. We can see in this case the center back wide, the midfielder here, and the other midfielder also in the same zone. You can see right center back, midfielder, advanced midfielder, wing back, and this player is the other midfielder. As we can see here. Check about how they move, how they are very dynamic, and they end up again finding the advanced midfielder who connects with the midfielder, and they are able to finish on a chance after a great movement from the striker. Another concept that is key for them to find these diagonal balls that we spoke before is the advanced midfielders moving into wide zones, dragging their direct opponents out of position. As we can see here, look how the advanced midfielder moves wide between the center back and the wing back. Again, the back four we spoke about with the goalkeeper as a right center back. Check how they play a third man situation, very, very easy. Again, the advanced midfielder moving wide. See how much space is now there, is now inside, how they use it with the midfielder moving higher up. Goalkeeper plays a long ball for the center back. In this case, he's more wide. Look again how they play to the weak side pocket, finding the advanced midfielder. Another example. Check, this one is very clear how the advanced midfielder moves. Side center back, left center back in this case, with the goalkeeper again, using the goalkeeper in a back four. But see also how the midfielder balance this space. This is important because, of course, the goalkeeper cannot defend forward. So it's important to balance this big gap between the center back and the right center back. For me, this positioning is key. And we see how the advanced midfielder moves wide, and the other advanced midfielder also is very wide. So against this kind of teams that their midfielders are very man oriented, it's key to drag them out of position to find a player inside. Again, they play with the striker plays back, and they are able to find the advanced midfielder in the weak side again. Another interesting aspect, the crossing lanes, if I say it well. See how, in this case, the advanced midfielder in deep build-up moves towards a very far zone from his starting position, creating problems. Let's watch it again. By moving that far, he creates problems to his direct opponent, who doesn't know if he has to follow him there or not, or stay more zonal and keep his position inside. See how they do like kind of a line of diagonal of 4 players here in the wide areas. They are not able to progress in this case, but almost. Again, very similar. Check how the advanced midfielder in this case moves to the far side, where he feels there is space to receive a diagonal ball, and his direct opponent doesn't follow him there because he feels maybe it's too far for him. Another important aspect for Mjällby are the short distances, high mobility. They are a team that they are very compact while they play attacking and defending. And as you can see here, they play in very short distances between them, and with a lot of movement, a lot of mobility to try to find passing lines, to try to create problems to the opposition's structure. Let's check again this clip. See how the midfielder moves to support very fast, very close to the ball, 1, 2, and they are able to find a player between the lines, progress. Another example here, see how compact the team is. They are playing all in 20 meters. These are the center backs. So imagine where they are. Again, you see how short distances between the players to combine. They also don't use the concept of maximum width. You can see here that many times they are not their wingbacks. They are not that open. Let's watch another concept very common also in modern football. Again, we can see here the back 4 that we spoke about before. We can see also here the diagonals. And now what we will see is the center backs pass and move. They, again, especially against teams that they man mark, they create a lot of problems by passing and moving higher up. We can see in this example how he passed forward, the center back, gets the ball back, plays the diagonal ball, and then runs. We can see here how, let's get a bit back. Here, his direct opening is with him, but after this run, he can continue following him, so he creates problems because they don't know who has to follow him, and then he ends up free attacking the space. Let's talk now about the throw-ins, because it's also very, very interesting how they progress in throwing. We can see here a lot of players in the same zone next to the thrower. See how they combine. Very short distances, high mobility. Wow, that's an amazing play from Mjällby to end up attacking in the far side. This is another example. You can see how much they move between the players in this small area. Can you see how they end up doing like a diagonal, a more relationist throwing with 4 players in diagonal? How they end up finding the farthest one, and yeah, a bit lucky, but they kind of, we can see the ideas of a lot of mobility, short distances, these diagonals. They try to find these kind of connections to progress. Now I call this concept it's not the same to be under pressure than to feel under pressure, because when I watch Mjällby, my feeling is that when they combine, especially in the white areas, they don't feel this kind of pressure. I will explain why now. We can see this clip, how so many players in a very small zone, how they are able still to connect between them and go out from this zone. What I think is that being in very short distances between them and also being in white areas helps them to take this kind of risks. Why? Because they feel that because they are so close to each other, they can get the ball back very, very fast, and at the same time, they are in a white area, which of course the danger is in the central zones. So they feel they can do this kind of things. So I like, of course, how they play. One of the reasons is that one, that I think helps the players to be more creative, to take risks, to be able to do some tricks in the white areas that they are helping the team to progress and to really play a very, very good football. We will see another example. This build-up also is special because the midfielders, let's switch again, the midfielders start very, very deep. We can see again the line of 4 with the goalkeeper as a right center back, but you see how they play midfielders. The midfielders play to one of the midfielders play to the goalkeeper, and then he moves to wide areas, trying to overload this zone and being able to progress, finding the far side again, and combining in very tight spaces, which for me is incredible how they do it. Let's go now with the Escadinhas. Escadinha is when players draw like a diagonal line between them that helps them to progress. We can see in this example how the advanced midfielder receives in the sideline. The wingback in this case is making a run, and the other advanced midfielder, who is in the same area than the advanced midfielder of that side, the right advanced midfielder, they make a diagonal between them, which at the same time the right center back is making a run. We will see now what we spoke about the center backs. They move higher up. Many times they pass and move, creating problems for the opposition. Check how they are able to combine with the advanced midfielder, and then the advanced midfielder ends up playing with the right center who made a run, and this ends up in a clear chance to score. Another example, here the same, we can see the diagonals we spoke about, the Escadinha, where the first player plays with the third one, let's say, the second one lets the ball pass and then runs to the space. Another example, similar, same. We can see here the diagonal between the center back. In this case, I don't know if it's the midfielder or the advanced midfielder, and then the striker, how they create this diagonal. The first player plays to the third player to then find the second player. Let's talk now about transitions. What I would say about transitions is that they usually the first priority, from what I have seen, is that try to keep the ball, try to combine in these tight spaces and try to move the ball from that area. But yeah, we can see here how they combine. Very again short distances, very small spaces, but they can also play forward and be a more transitional team, especially with this player who is very dangerous attacking the space. Let's watch it again. They try to secure the ball first, and when they can play forward, of course, they do it. They are not a very transitional team, let's say like this, but of course, if they have a chance to move higher up faster, they also do it. Let's talk now about the high press. First, I will use a photo to talk about the high press because I feel you can see what is the idea in Mjällby's high press in their 3-2-4-1 structure that we spoke before, that now becomes more of a 3-4-3, a 3-4-2-1, or a 5-2-3 if you want to call it like this. But as we can see, the priority is that the opposition don't play inside their block. So especially the front line, the first three players that they start pressing, they try to always close in spaces, not allowing the opposition to play inside their block. We will see now an example in a video. We can see here the five, the two midfielders, and the three front players. We can see that when they step to press, what they always try to do is to close inside the midfielder, because now Malmo has a free midfielder inside. You see also how the advanced midfielder steps, closing this, cover shadowing the midfielder, trying to close this passing line. But Mjällby, of course, they are a good team also, and they are able to find this midfielder. Then is when one of the midfielders steps up, and they defend more in a 5-1-3-1, 5-1-4, say it however you want. Again, when there is a pass back, the first priority is to close inside first, not allowing them to play inside. And now it's moment to apply pressure and check how they end up in a clear chance. Another individual fundamental that I feel it's important to highlight is the wingbacks when they step to press. I haven't seen that in many teams, but maybe they do it. Check now how in the high press, the wingback makes like a curve run to avoid this passing line towards the midfielder. check how instead of staying here and stepping out more frontal, he makes a curve run, closing this passing line and giving time to the midfielder also to arrive to this player, as we can see. Of course, this is also can be dangerous because they can connect straight with the front players. They can put a ball to the space, and yeah, it depends, of course, in your game plan. Depends on the opposition from players also. In this case, Mjällby is almost about to progress. But I found interesting to highlight this behavior from the wingbacks. We will see another example. We can see here the midfielder again, the number 6 is free. We can see the advanced midfielder stepping out but closing the passing line with the number 6, and how the wingback is pressing from in to out, closing this passing line. You can see here giving time for the striker and for the midfielder to step to Mjällby's midfielder. Here, what Mjällby does is just try to play a long ball. There is a 1v1 situation, which is a good option maybe to progress for them. Another thing to highlight, which I feel is so important nowadays, and I think is one of the keys. This is not very tactical, let's say like this, but for me it's important nowadays to be a team who wants to press, who wants to get the ball back quick, who wants to be dominant. I think it's very important the pressing commitment from your, especially from your frontline players. So we can see here how the striker works so hard in the pressing. Take a look. He continues to press. Now they play goalkeeper. He steps. And thanks to him, now Mjällby, they are in a situation of a man-to-man in that side, which is difficult for Mjällby to progress. Another example, this is actually a goal they scored against Malmö, where he keeps believing until the end, and many players maybe will not go to that ball and they will track back. He's one of the advanced midfielders of the team, and they end up scoring a goal who gave them 3 points against Mjällby. Another example, check how one of the advanced midfielders is stepping to press or wingers, however you want to call it, is stepping to press the side center, who at the start of the play, he has an advantage actually, you can see here, but due to a great effort, he's able to stop him to progress and make a free kick in this kind of situation. The commitment from all the players from Mjällby, but especially from the front three, is incredible. Let's go now with the mid block, because one key aspect of the defensive game plan is that in this mid block, where they also feel quite comfortable, when there is a pass back, it's a good moment to press. You see here how they always with the priority that we spoke before about closing inner spaces, but while the ball is flying, let's say like this, see when the player is about to play the pass, they are already reacting, because if not, it's already late, and they are able to apply pressure, being this pass back as a trigger for the press. Check, the wingback also steps to fullback, and now they are in a man-to-man situation, and they are able to get the ball back. Another example, you see, the fullback is about to play to the center back, and the striker in this case is ready to step out. He continues pressing the goalkeeper also, and again, now Mjällby, they are in a man-to-man situation, which is difficult for the opposition to progress. They end up kicking the ball long, where Mjällby has a 2v1 with the midfielder helping there. And the last one, we will now talk about the throw-ins and about how they press in the throw-ins. In this case, about the defensive. But we will not see a clip. We will see two photos. We can see how they overload the the ball side when the Mjällby is about to throw, and how they leave the two far side players totally free. Of course, when they get the ball back here, they have many players to combine. That's something they do very very often. They also I saw a couple of times that the opposition is able to play to the far side, and they have to drop back, but they do it well also when they have to drop back. So we'll see another example here, the same against another team. In this case, we can see the two far side players, the center back and fullback. In this case, I don't remember if they play line of three, but yeah, the two far side players, and you can see how even the wingback is in that zone, which is I don't know. I haven't seen this in many teams. That's why I say that Mjällby, they are a unique team, because they do things, special things that many clubs, even in the top leagues, we don't see it, and sometimes it's good to watch teams like Mjällby in leagues like the Swedish league, that they do different things that maybe in the future we see in the top leagues. So yes, thank you very much for listening to this analysis about Mjällby. I'm gonna be posting more videos in English, hopefully with the help also from other analysts from our team in the Game Changer. And yeah, if you like the video, please subscribe to our channel, give some like, and yeah, some comment if you want us to analyze any team. It doesn't need to be a big team, so it can be a smaller club in smaller leagues. That for me, I would like to discover new ideas. So please drop a message into the comments, and we will check if we can analyze teams from smaller leagues. So that will be great. And yeah, thank you for following. Thank you for listening, and stay in touch. See you guys.